You thought you were gonna be watching Cuphead vs. Edward Elric, but it is I, Combo Breaker, here to plug a couple of things. Honestly, we need a bigger outlet or a less fire hazardous outlet. Anyway, the first thing I want to plug is my Discord server. There'll be a link to it in the description down below, and I really hope you guys join. You can get hints for what the next battle's gonna be, talk to me, post memes, see what upcoming battles could be, and if you guys want to see them. And most importantly, the most fun part of my server is participating in a new game called Bad Rules Duels. Basically, I post a very stupid matchup, and people have to give me an even fucking stupider reason for why a character would win the fight. You just missed this last one where we did Deku versus the Great Deku Tree, but honestly guys, the whole thing's really fun, and it can be a bit strange when you see some of the answers. But it's a lot of fun in there, and I hope you guys join. Next up on my list of things to plug is my t-shirts. That's right, there's official Combo Breaker t-shirts that you probably knew about already if you've been watching my show. There's a great Captain Fishbowl one and another amazing one of me. I hope you guys go at the very least check out the designs because they look badass as all hell. And finally, in the description down below will be a link to the Combo Breaker win-loss record, put together by Z-Dog and with a little bit of help from myself as well. It essentially has every character who's ever been on Combo Breaker in chronological order and every matchup they've been in, whether or not they won or lost. And anyway, without further ado, let's get on to Cuphead vs. Edward Elric.
Step inside my twisted world where heroes will collide. Villains are the only evil, there are no fucking sides. Every match will test their stats, every loss and win are weighed. Any chance they thought they had could all end up in vain on Combo Breaker.
You know, I have a personal rule that I don't make bets, no matter how sure I am that I'm right or how much I know I can win. Why? If you know that you can win the bet, why wouldn't you take it? That seems like an easy win. Well, I mean, that's just my strange personal rule. But you know, most people in fiction don't seem to share my caution for some reason. I mean, how many heroes' origin stories start with them making a deal and then realizing they fucked up? Let's see. Spawn, Ghost Rider, Kratos, Scorpion. There seems to be a weird connection of all of these characters being screwed over by an all-powerful god or all-powerful demon. I feel that's somehow relevant to today's fight. Oh, that's because it is. You see, I wrote those names in the script specifically because they kind of relate to today's combatants. You see, today's combatants are both super badass older brothers in red, who made a deal with an all-powerful creature that then ultimately fucked them and their brothers over. Well, if that didn't make it incredibly obvious, both of today's combatants are also super short and can use their hands for cool glowing magic attacks. We're of course talking about Cuphead, the cartoonish devil slayer of Inkwell Isle, and Edward Elric, the masterful Full Metal Alchemist. You know who's a bad motherfucker, yet people for some reason keep doing business with him? I mean, that's a lot of people, like the Joker, for example. Despite that guy blowing shit up and killing hundreds, for some reason people still do business with him. Not quite who I meant, but you make a valid point. Oh, you mean Microsoft, because they buy companies with the promise of keeping beloved franchises like Banjo-Kazooie and Conquer alive, before they ultimately make the teams behind them work on things like Connected Ventures. Why Banjo sits in a jail cell and rots away, until he finally gets pulled out for a shit show of a game. And after that game bombs, he's left to die in the cell, until a man in a red hat hands him a letter. No, an invitation to a gathering of the greatest gaming icons of all time, to battle it out in Super Smash Brothers! I mean, I wasn't talking about Banjo-Kazooie, but funny that you bring up Microsoft, saying as though they just bought out our first combatant. But depressing and dark futures of gaming icons who are bought by Microsoft aside, the bad motherfucker I was talking about would be the devil. Really? Who's stupid enough to make a deal with the actual literal devil? Let's see. Spawn, Ghost Rider, Fry from Futurama, Dipper if you want to count Bill Cipher as the devil, the kids from South Park, and more importantly for today's episode, Cuphead. Touché! But can I just say that Cuphead is an asshole? I mean, betting your soul in a casino game with the devil is one thing, but he had no right to sign away his brother's soul. He is a dick. Well, I mean, I can't imagine that contract's legally binding for Mugman, since, you know, he didn't sign it. Objection! This is fiction, as we know from people like Ghost Rider accidentally cutting his finger on the devil's contract, and then the devil counting it. Clearly the devil doesn't give a flying shit about the law. Which, I mean, really isn't surprising, say as though, you know, he's the devil, like literally Satan. Yeah, Beelzebub isn't exactly known for his fairness when it comes to legal contracts, kinda like Apple. But for some reason, the devil that Cuphead played a game of craps against does believe the contract is binding. But luckily, he isn't the worst devil in fiction. Trust me, there's definitely worse out there. Because the devil gave Cuphead another option, to go track down all other idiots in Inkwell who made the same mistake he did, and damn them all to hell, over the course of about a day and a half. Wow, Cuphead's really an asshole. He just fucked over not only his brother by doing this bet, but then he's going to damn all of Inkwell to hell because he's an idiot. Well, if Cuphead's going to damn everyone in his hometown to hell, he's gonna need an arsenal of powers to use to cut them down to size. Such as his pea shooter, where Cuphead can fire out several quick rapid-fire blue shots from his hand just by snapping his fingers. Please, I don't want to go. I don't feel so good, Mr. Co-host. Ha ha ha, we all saw Infinity War. Fucking dumbass. Anyway, every one of Cuphead's attack options have him snapping his fingers. And surprisingly, no, he doesn't wipe out half of the universe with each shot. On top of that, every single shot has an EX version that he can fire out at the cost of some energy. That energy that he charges up by doing damage to his opponent or parrying pink objects. But more on that later. For the pea shooter's EX move, Cuphead fires out what's essentially a Big Bang attack. Except not as cool, not nearly as dangerous, and he's not the Prince of all cups. So really, it's not like the Big Bang attack at all. This is a whole stupid joke. But this Coffee Cup has a few more options when it comes to combat, so he doesn't always have to rely on that puny pea shooter. Such as the Chaser, or as I like to call it, the weapon for bitches who aren't good at video games. That was the only weapon you used the entire playthrough. Hell, you even used the double heart charm and the invincibility super. This weapon fires out super fast but weak homing shots to track down your foes, kinda like a persistent salesman. Meaning all you have to do is dodge and hold down the pew 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 button. And the EX version of this move surrounds Cuphead in a spiraling sphere of these shots to do damage to whoever touches them. Well, at least that's supposedly what it does. But you know, it never fucking works. Every time I've used the damn thing, someone runs into me, takes 0 damage, none of the shots go away, and I still get hit. It's the worst fucking shield in history. It's worse than Mega Man's Leaf Shield in Super Smash Bros. And that move is literally fucking useless. I'm pretty sure you just suck at Cuphead. I mean, how many times did you die fighting Goopy Legrand? I mean, technically I did beat him the first try. He still had a whole other phase. You didn't beat him. Look, he was literally a tombstone. So by my rules, I won because he was fucking dead, alright? He was dead! 6 feet under. The game definitely disagrees with you, says the tombstone smashed your porcelain body into a bunch of pieces on the ground. It really shouldn't say as though the guy was actually dead. It was a tombstone. Cuphead's bullshit take on the whole mortality thing aside, we still have plenty of other shot types to talk about. Such as the Charger, where Cuphead channels his inner Samus and charges up a big-ass, heavy, damaging blast. That, despite its slow nature, is a very effective spam option. And with the EX version of this move, Cuphead channels all of his rage, salt, piss, and vinegar from his previous losses where he was just so damn close, and then he literally explodes, creating a blast around him to damage his foes. Cuphead can also use the Scatter Shot, which is pretty self-explanatory, as it has Cuphead firing out a quick short-range quadruple shot, kinda like a shotgun. But on the off chance you want to hit more than 1 or 2 opponents, or god forbid anything not directly in the front of the cup guy, you're gonna have to use the Spreader's EX move, the 8-way, where he shoots out a multi-directional spread shot in 8 different directions. Wow, Cuphead's a kinky bastard. I've heard of 4-ways, but I've never heard of 8-ways. Oh god, my fucking eyes! Ah! God, go get the bleach, Gygus! Well then go to the Spaceball Greens and get some! Ah, god, my fucking eyes! Ah! God, I hate the internet. God forbid they don't sexualize and make porn out of literally everything! Haha! Rule 34 is so gross. Anyway, Cuphead also has the Lobber, where he shoots out a ball that flies a bit before crashing down like Vincent 2 using shield pressure. After about 2 bounces, this thing explodes. Somehow. It looks like a bowling ball. How's it exploding? But its EX version follows the SpongeBob law of killing scary things. Just do the same thing, but bigger. Yup, the EX Lobber is essentially Bigger Boot. It's just a bigger lobber that blows up on impact. Well, Cuphead also has the Roundabout, which might be the stupidest weapon in his arsenal. You know those dumbass boomerang birds and Angry Birds? Yeah, it's just basically that. This weapon literally makes you face away from the big scary man, shoot the shot so they can fly forward, and then turn around and come back and hit the guy from behind. If it weren't for this thing's EX move being busted as fuck, I would never use it. Yeah, this thing's EX version shoots out a big roundabout that constantly goes back and forth around Cup Dude. As long as he doesn't touch it, it'll keep going doing damage to the enemies it hits. Which is really the only redeeming quality of this piece of shit weapon. But that's only Cuphead's basic shot types. He still has plenty of other tricks up his non-existent sleeves, such as Parry, where Cuphead does a mid-air somersault, turning his straw into a hand. Oh god, what the fuck? Okay, with this weird hand straw thing, he can actually slap pink projectiles to parry them, causing them to explode, and giving him more super meter that he can use. Which, I mean, yeah, if I get slapped by this thing, I would just hope I ceased existing as well. Wait, only pink things? That's stupid. I mean, how many pink things can he possibly one-shot?
Wait, SpongeBob! We're not cavemen! We have technology!
Touché! Apparently he can solo my verse with some damn parries. Looking like Ryu over here with these damn parries. On top of that, Cuphead is also capable of doing a short-range dash across the ground, as well as, more impressively, being able to do this dash to the air, which allows him to maneuver around enemies and their attacks. Cuphead can also use the whetstone, which turns his straw hand during his parry into a literal axe, allowing him to do extra damage. And with his smoke bomb power-up, Cuphead's dash becomes a short-range teleport Sheik style, except Cuphead still has this thing called kill power. But basically, yeah, the smoke bomb allows him to maneuver around enemies and their attacks quite easily. Not to mention, he also has his coffee that allows him to constantly charge up his super energy, even when just standing, walking, or even teabagging. Cuphead also has a fucking airplane that can shoot machine gun rounds, drop bombs, shoot missiles, shrink in size, and even turn into a fucking missile that upon blowing up turns back into Cuphead and his plane. For some reason. You know, if he can shrink, why the hell hasn't he tried to Ant-Man any of these bosses? You know, just fly up their ass and expand, and causing them to burst open in a violent explosion. Most of these bosses are fucking massive. You probably end up suffocating inside of their anus. Oh, gross. I didn't want to think about that. Ugh. Anyway, Cuphead also has 3 super techniques he can use to get the edge of battle, such as temporary invincibility that I should never be trusted with, because I'll go for something stupid and then die when it wears off way sooner than I thought it would. Oh yeah, I can't tell me how many times that Mugman died because of that. But he also has a big-ass laser shot that he can shoot from his head. A laser made of liquid that somehow shoots more liquid than can possibly fit in his body, because Cuphead just loves to give the middle finger to things like, you know, volume of a container, or really just logic in general. I mean, the man can turn into a missile and survive. What the fuck is this shit? Is there a single thing in Cuphead that makes any damn sense? Anyway, Cuphead can also summon his persona. I mean, it's more like a stand, because, you know, it's a spirit punchy thingy. Oh, beware star porcelain! Aura, 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 aura! Oh yeah, that's basically what the super is, as Cuphead can use his super meter to summon a ghost that flies near him and does his best Zangief impression as he spins around doing a big old spinny fist attack. And with all of Cuphead's magic hand attacks and strange techniques aside, we can finally talk about Cuphead's feats. Cuphead's actually pretty impressive for just being, well, a cup. Oh yeah, he's more than capable of taking down living walls, as well as Goopy LeGrand's tombstone, which is actually able to tower over the trees in the background of his stage. Cuphead's also taken down Grim Matchstick, who's a huge-ass dragon. He's killed a living train, a living castle, a living pirate ship, and even the devil himself, who in his giant form is so large that Cuphead is actually smaller than his pupil. And Cuphead's insanely fast. He can dodge cannonballs, fireballs, bullets, several swords flying at him, and even fucking lightning bolts from both a train and a magic clappy lobster thing, because apparently lobsters can manipulate lightning. Oh, that's nothing. Cuphead's more than capable of reacting to Dr. Cal's robot that could shoot lasers, and even laser blasts from this baby bird thing while flying his plane. Cuphead's also tough enough to take fireballs to the face, psychic blasts from fucking carrots, as well as direct cannon blasts and gunshots. He's also taken beatdowns from giant tombstones, huge Medusa monsters that have even turned him to stone multiple times, and even the devil himself, who as we mentioned is fucking massive. Cuphead may not seem the smartest as he bet him and his brother's soul and then lost it to the literal devil, but he's skilled enough to fly a plane, beat mad scientists, and even take down the devil himself. That's actually pretty damn good for what's essentially a cup. But then again, if Jack Black can take down the devil, literally anyone can at that point. But Cuphead isn't perfect. He's incredibly greedy as he bet him and his brother's soul up for money, and he relies entirely on far-range combat, which while that's nice for his boss rush style gameplay, it could be a problem in a normal fight, especially if his opponent has several melee options. But at the end of the day, you should watch your back if you have a soul contract from the devil, because Cuphead's ready to jump, shoot, and parry his way to a win. Knockout! Ultimate power! Everyone and their grandma strives to be super powerful, whether it's to kick ass, buy everything you could ever want, or in the case of today's combatant, to get back a loved one. There's just one question. What are you willing to pay for that kind of power? I mean, Edward and his bro tried to create literal life. That's not exactly an easy thing to do. I mean, Elsa did it in like 5 seconds with some snow and a vegetable, so it can't be that hard. But the price Edward did pay for his attempt was pretty damn hefty, especially since it didn't even work. His mom came back to life as this weird zombie amalgamation that kinda looks like Gary Busey, and then she just fucking died again. Would you say that he paid an arm and a leg? Because he lost an arm and a leg. Wow, you are an inconsiderate asshole, but yes, in the process of reviving their dead mom, a weird god thing, he said, no, I won't revive her, but here, I'll take your arm, your leg, your brother's whole body, and give you some magic hand powers like the Avatar. Yeah, that guy's kind of an asshole. But after screaming and crying like a little bitch because he's missing some limbs, and after enchanting a suit of armor so his brother's soul could use it as a body, Edward was able to finally go off to find a Philosopher's Stone and undo his stupid mistake. Wait a second. He's on a quest for a stone to fix a problem. Holy shit, Edward is just Thanos.
Inevitable.
So if Edward's going to head out and find one of those Philosopher's Stones, he's gonna need some badass tools and powers to do it. Oh yeah, he is. Just one question. How is he gonna kick some Alchemist ass if he's missing an arm and a leg? Those seem very important for fighting. Yeah, those are definitely important for beating down Alchemist baddies, but luckily Edward got his missing limbs replaced with automail, which is made of a nice combination of carbon and aluminum. You know, aluminum, that shit my Dr. Pepper cans are made of. Why would he get it replaced by an aluminum arm? I could probably crush that shit with one hand. Ah, but you see, he can use his alchemy on it to harden his automail or even reshape his arm into various weapons such as blades, saws, scythes, and really just about anything you can imagine, including an umbrella for some reason. In other words, his automail is very similar to those symbiotes from Marvel, where they can just kinda, you know, make dangerous weapons out of his own arm. Well, yeah, except the automail doesn't talk to Edward and doesn't try and eat him alive when he doesn't do enough cannibalism. Touché! But Edward's automail isn't exactly what makes him such a badass, although magic stabby arm thingies are pretty dope. Oh yeah, Edward's most iconic ability is his alchemy, or in other words, equivalent exchange, which means Edward can make practically anything he wants as long as the thing he's converting it from is equal to the value of what he's making. So what, he can't turn like a Hershey's bar into a king-size Snickers? Man, what's even the fucking point of this power? Not monetary value, you dumbass. Basically, Edward couldn't do something like turn mayonnaise into diamonds. As cool as that would be, those things are clearly not equivalent. Other than making sure the things he's changing around are equivalent, alchemy just comes down to 3 basic principles. Those being comprehension, meaning that Edward has to know what the thing he's using is made of. Kinda like a reverse version of Momo. Wait, no, not that one. Oh, God, I meant the one from My Hero Academia. Fucking Momo, we aren't even talking about Suyu, alright? God. Well, the next of the 3 principles is destruction, which is exactly as it sounds. That's the part where you break shit down and so you can use it for alchemy. And finally, reconstruction, where you take the stuff you just broke down and reconstruct it into several different things. And as long as Edward follows those rules, the sky's the fucking limit with what he can create. Or rather, the ground's the limit. Not sure what wording I should use there. Either one works. Honestly, you could have said the wall's the limit, or anything he can alchemize, really. But anyway, with his alchemy, Edward can create spears and shields for close-range combat. But he's definitely not limited to assorted melee weapons. Oh yeah, Edward, just by touching the ground, or any surface really, can create giant spikes in the ground to impale his enemies like a human shish kebab. Or he can summon pillars to fly out and hit his enemies, or even giant stone hands to grab and punch his foes, like that Isaac Assist trophy in Smash Brothers. And imagine being hit in the dick by that. Oh god, I don't even want to think about that. Not even Johnny Cage is that malicious, and he does fucking crouching dick punches. Well, Edward can also create large stone snakes to travel across the ground that can even trap his foes, somehow, and he can also create giant walls to block incoming attacks. Hell, Edward can always just create stone golems to attack his foes, because apparently Edward can just create life now. Wait, why didn't he try and bring back his mom if he could now just make living things? I don't actually know why he didn't try that, and hell, why didn't he just make a new body for his brother so he didn't have to be that suit of armor anymore? Man, Edward's a dumbass, but nevertheless, his powers are pretty badass. Anyway, we saved Edward's best creation for last. Allow me to introduce Edward's big fucking cannon. It's a thing that he can just make and then shoot people with. Because even in a world of magic and alchemy, cannons are still badass. But Edward's alchemy tricks don't end with rocks. No, this man can do some downright malicious and badass stuff. For example, he can deconstruct not just material things like rocks, but also humans themselves to turn them into a gross mush. Huh, that looks like my high school cafeteria food. I guess that explains why there wasn't detention there. I'm sorry, what? Man, I miss Elric. Okay, horrifying revelations aside, Edward can also use his own life force to increase his alchemy's power and even heal his own wounds. Oh, hell yeah! Healing factors that shorten your own lifespan? That sounds like the most counterproductive power ever. That's like having the power to control fire, but you're always cold. It's just so stupid. Yeah, I never said Edward was smart, I just said his powers were kinda cool. But with powers out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about Edward's feats. Oh yeah, Edward's actually pretty strong, as he can easily break Greed's carbon armor, one-shot a Lion Chimera with a single kick, and he's more than capable of creating huge stone pillars and statues. He's also managed to morph several buildings at once, and even made giant golems and cannons with ease. Yeah, Edward's strength feats are kinda lame sounding, but luckily his strength can scale to his rather impressive durability. More on that in just a moment, though. Edward's fast enough to dodge a point-blank pistol shot, and even gunfire from a motherfucking Gatling gun. You know that gun that shoots really, really fast? And Edward's also ungodly tough, as his automail can easily block a lion's bite and be completely undamaged. He's also survived a huge chunk of a 10-story building just kind of blowing up in his face, and for reference, a 10-story building would be about 100 feet tall. He's also survived having a big cannon blow up in his face, and even a boulder blowing up in his face. Somehow. I didn't know boulders were so damn explosive. Edward's also a genius. He literally knows everything there is to know about alchemy and is able to do without a transmutation circle. Hell, Edward was even trained by the military and can easily take out other armed men and alchemists. Yeah, but Edward isn't perfect. He may be great at alchemy, but if he loses an arm, then he can't clap his hands together, and thus can't use his alchemy. Also, you could say he's a bit short-tempered. That joke was complete shit. But at the end of the day, Edward will show everyone why he's the Full Metal Alchemist.
I just have one more question for you. Nina and Alexander. Where are they?
Damn brat, figuring it out so quickly.
Brother! Oh yeah, I figured it out. You did it again! 2 years ago it was your wife. This time, you used your own daughter and her dog to transmute a talking chimera! You can only do so much with animals after all. It's much easier when you start with a human, isn't that right?
Alright, our combatants are set, but only one has what it takes to deal with the other one. Dear God. Oh, I think that might be the stupidest shit I've ever said. That was actually awful. No, I am done with your stupidity. I will see you in the post-analysis when we explain why the winner wins, alright? God, let's settle this. Edward Elric is walking through a town with his brother when he sees a man demolishing some buildings. Edward yells at him to get his attention, but as the guy turns around to look at Edward, he laughs and holds out a Philosopher's Stone as he yells out, "You don't stand a chance against this stone!" He gets stopped mid-sentence as Cuphead runs over and jumps towards him before parrying the stone, shattering it. The man then looks at his empty hand in horror as Cuphead lands and shoots a spread shot at the man, blowing his head clean off. Edward then stands there in shock as a literal cup just broke his best chance at fixing his brother. Cuphead then turns to walk away as Edward yells out at him.
A brawl is surely brewing. And begin!
Cuphead stops as he turns around to see Edward clapping his hands together before putting them on the ground, sending out a trail of spikes towards Cuphead, who dashes to the side, narrowly dodging the attack. Cuphead then looks over at Edward before firing off several fast blue projectiles. As they dart towards Edward, he ducks, touching the ground, creating a wall that pops up and blocks the shots. Edward then puts his hand on the wall, launching it across the ground at Cuphead, who starts to try and outrun it while firing out a barrage of green blasts in front of him. Edward laughs as he watches Cuphead run away, but he's stopped as one of Cuphead's green blasts hits him in the head. Edward then rubs his head in pain before he looks up to see about 27 more shots flying towards him from behind the wall that's currently about to smash into the side of a building. Edward looks at the shots in dread as they rain down upon him, hitting him multiple times. As the barrage ends, Edward looks around for Cuphead, only to see a big heavy blast flying through the air. Edward then turns his hand to a blade and slashes the shot in half, causing it to blow up in his face. Edward then starts to cough up smoke as he sees Cuphead running at him full speed. As Cuphead takes aim for his next shot, Edward slashes him with his blade arm, slashing Cuphead across the chest, before kicking him, causing him to fly back. Edward then smirks as he claps his hands together once again before placing them on the ground, creating a large stone fist that pops up and hits Cuphead into the air. As Cuphead starts to fall through the air, he charges up one of his orange blasts before firing at Edward. As the shot approaches, Edward puts his hand on a wall, creating a tube that the shot flies through, redirecting it at Cuphead. The shot blows up on contact with Cuphead, knocking him out of the air as Edward creates a large golem. The golem then slams his fist down towards Cuphead, who vanishes into a puff of smoke before he reappears in front of Edward and fires off a large blue energy blast into his face, sending Edward flying back against a wall. The golem then turns to try attacking Cuphead once again, but as he tries to smash Cuphead, a large ghost-like creature appears and catches the golem's fist as Cuphead fires out several big blue blasts that fly at the golem, smashing large holes through him. Edward finally gets up after that last attack, only to see his huge golem crumbling as Cuphead stands next to a large ghost-like figure with a pink soul in it. Cuphead then starts to fire a barrage of blue shots at Edward, who taps his hands on the floor, creating a wall in front of him that blocks the shots. Edward then puts his hands on the wall, launching at Cuphead, whose ghost warrior smashes through with a single punch, creating a huge dust cloud. Cuphead then struggles to see Edward as he leaps at the ghost before grabbing onto his soul and deconstructing it with alchemy. Cuphead then looks panicked as Edward creates a spear out of the rubble from his previous stone wall. Edward then stabs at Cuphead, who jumps over the stab, but while he's airborne, Edward swipes at him with his spear, only to have Cuphead parry with his axe straw, breaking the spear in half. Edward, now pissed at Cuphead, dashes forward and grabs Cuphead in an attempt to end the fight. As he grabs Cuphead, he turns his porcelain body into stone in order to petrify him. Edward then smirks as he turns around and creates a huge cannon on the ground. As he turns around to take aim, Cuphead has vanished into smoke. Edward looks around in a panic, but he just barely misses Cuphead, who appears behind him, where he fires off an EX roundabout that flies into Edward, sawing him in half.
Knockout!
Cuphead then looks around for Edward's soul contract, confused as where it could be. Oh god, forget losing an arm and a leg! Cuphead just split his ass in half! Wait a second, how the fuck did Edward Elric, the motherfucking Full Metal Alchemist, lose to a cup? Well, as you can tell based on the battle, our winner is shockingly Cuphead. And once we look at stats, it starts to become way more clear why Edward falls a bit short in this battle. Really, a short joke in the post-analysis? Ugh. Either way, it means Edward's super strong and can create giant stone golems, and cannons that are just massive. He could break Greed's armor, and he was able to survive a huge boulder and his cannon blowing up in his face. Courtesy of Roy Mustang, that is. because Roy is an asshole. But by far Edward's best feat was surviving a blast that demolished 99% of a 10-story building. Just so you guys know, that building would be about 100 feet tall, which would firmly put Edward in the multi-city block levels of strength and durability. Oh yeah, that's really great for the Avatar wannabe and all that, but a literal Cup can do some pretty impressive shit as well. For example, Cuphead can destroy walls effortlessly. He can take down pirate ships, tree-sized tombstones, robots the size of buildings, and most impressively, the devil. The devil in Cuphead during his final phase is massive, and thanks to some math on my part and some pixel measurements done by Ghost Host Boy, I found that the Cuphead devil in his giant form is 145 feet tall. Oh no, I have a feeling I know where this shit is going. Yeah, Edward may have survived that blast that demolished a 10-story building, but Cuphead can take down the devil who's 45 feet taller than that. This feat would put Cuphead in a multi-city block as well. And to further back up that the Cuphead devil is this strong, Cuphead can casually beat wall-level fodder, and most of the bosses in Cuphead are building to large building-level threats. So for the devil to actually be a threat, he would need to, be far above them in strength. Otherwise, they could just rise up and kick the shit out of him. Okay, but, Edward's super fast. He can dodge a point-blank pistol shot, and he's even dodged Gatling gunfire, which would easily make Edward supersonic. Yeah, but Cuphead can dodge gunfire, cannonballs, actual lightning, and even lasers. So Cuphead is at least tied with Edward in terms of speed at his worst, and he's able to blitz him to hell and back at his best feats of dodging lasers. Hell, even just dodging the lightning is impressive enough for him to blitz poor Edward. Oh, damn it! That Cuphead's fast! But Edward has a whole bunch of cool alchemy tricks that there's no way Cuphead could handle. Oh yeah, some stone walls and spikes and a golem. Oh yeah, Cuphead definitely doesn't battle weird shit all the time like robots, soldier mice, Medusa, living pirate ships, and the actual fucking devil. If anything, Cuphead's arsenal of weird-ass powers to trip up Edward more than anything. But what about his power to upgrade his alchemy with his strength? At the cost of his own lifespan. Not exactly a first option, and it won't help him catch Cuphead either way. Can't Edward just, deconstruct Cuphead with alchemy? Well, yeah, if he could catch Cuphead, and saying as though he's way faster, that's probably a no-go for Edward. Yeah, but Cuphead will tire out eventually. Yeah, no, Cuphead can kill Edward before that happens. See, all of Cuphead takes place over the course of about a day and a half. And Cuphead doesn't sleep, so good luck tiring him out. Hell, Edward would probably get tired out sooner, saying as though he doesn't ever drink his milk. Damn it, the stupid fucking Cub actually beats the Full Metal Alchemist. Honestly, Cuphead was too fast and had too much stamina for Edward to win. Looks like Edward's life was cut short as he swung an Alchemist. Our winner is Cuphead. Next time on Combo Breaker! Before I announce next time, I need to give a huge thanks to Ghost Host Boy. He was a major help with figuring out the full height of the devil and thus the reason that Cuphead won the match. So, yeah, huge thanks to him. Go check out his channel. And without further ado, next time on Combo Breaker!
Welcome to the world of Street Fighter 3. Prepare for battle. Knock you out. As I stare at myself in the mirror, and the noises around me fade. No fear for my health, never give up. Though the voices around me say it's a long shot, it'll never happen. To put the money on that as they laughing. I know I'm up against the best, but we fighting in the streets, left, right, left. This is what I live for right here. You think I go fuck cause the lights lit? Like I don't know what this life is. Think again cause I walk no hype is. Ever what they painted up to be. And the underdog is evidently the one who got more to win. I'ma make it taste the ground, here's my hydro king. You know what they say, the third strike is what counts. You know, and you can get it too. Don't think that I can knock you out. Knock you out, knock you out, knock you out, knock you out. Don't think that I can knock you out.
That's right, Alpha versus Ryu. Two badass brawlers with a dark side. If you want to think about it that way. Honestly, I'm super excited to do this match, mostly because I just finished Tome and it's pretty badass. And, Ryu hasn't been on this show since, like, the 5th episode. Which is weird because I mention him, like, every other episode. Huh. Let me know what you think of the matchup down below, who you think will win, and have a great day, guys.